and history will be very kind to you. My name is Buka Ngesa Omole. It's a very sad moment today. I am the National Vice Chairperson of the Communist Party of Kenya, and I also co-chair the National Coordination Committee of People's Assembly, where the Free Kenya Movement and the Communist Party of Kenya is at its core. We also, under the National Coordination Committee of People's Assembly, NCCPA, we are also having the Concerned Citizens Assembly, which is represented by Professor Ogola here. Now, just a few remarks. It's important to mention that when Bob Njagi was ready to speak to the media, the government of the day made all efforts to make sure that it does not speak to the media. And that is why we are hiding in the bush to address the media. When this press conference was called, the DCC of Isinya instructed the AP commandant and the DCI Kitengela to come and disrupt a legal press conference invited by a man that has suffered in the hands of this criminal regime of William Samoei Ruto. If indeed this government knew that what they did for Comrade Bob Njagi and all other, because Comrade Bob Njagi is only a representation and a victim of extrajudicial, not just killing, but extrajudicial arrests, abductions, and police kidnapping. If he symbols that, and you don't fear him telling the story because you are acting according to the law, like the president always say that he's exercising his constitutional right, why is it that today in the morning when this press conference was meant to happen at 11 o'clock, there was a fiasco with the Kenya police? So we just want to reiterate that the National Coordination Committee for People's Assembly with the Free Kenya Movement, Concerned Citizens Assembly, and the Communist Party of Kenya at its core are coming out very strongly to condemn the actions of the commandant, the AP commandant, and the DCC of Kitengela at Isinya for having interfered with this press conference. The second important point that we wanted to say, that the alternative, because everybody is saying that people are tired, they do not want street protest anymore, but the people want change, that they're asking, what is it that the Free Kenya Movement is doing? What is it that the Communist Party of Kenya is doing and the Concerned Citizens under the Coordination Committee of People's Assembly are doing? First of all is to hold this government accountable. That we must convince ourselves today that the people who have suffered in the hands of this illegitimate regime that has returned us back to the dark Moi dictatorship of abduction, torture, must be held accountable. Today, as Comrade Bob Njagi has issued this statement, that he will not stop at anything, but to pursue that justice is not just seen to be done, but not just for himself, but is going to drive an entire process that should ensure that everybody that has suffered under the hands of this illegitimate government has to be compensated materially, and even, a public apology be made to indict the head of state to stop all this abduction under his command. And finally, comrades, we are saying that every other thing that the government is doing is unnecessary distraction. In fact, the most annoying one that should help even mobilize more people to oppose this government is the useless bills that are being brought out by the boat crowd in the parliament. For example, there is a bill that is meant to actually control people like Bob Njagi and the Free Kenya Movement for not going to the street, the anti-protest bill. This is total rubbish. I think it is unconstitutional. It should be rejected in its own, in its own violence and demerits, and the Kenyan people must stand up. There's also another bill that instead of dealing with the issues that the Free Kenya movement has been leading to make sure that the young people get not just quality social access that is guaranteed in the Constitution for healthcare, for education, this government has chosen the most destructive path, and it must collapse on its own weight. And we are saying totally that we will not be distracted by the crisis in the ruling class. We will continue to advance a pro-people from below popular initiative that will end up replacing this government in its entirety and its newfound friends. Thank you very much.
People power.
Higher power.
People power.
Higher power.
Higher power.
People power.
Who are the people?
We are the people.
Who are the people?
We are the people.